So, can you hear me yet?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you, Claire?
I'm doing all right.
Good to see you again.
It's good to see you. You'll have to forgive me. I am not behaving ladylike tonight.
Well, you didn't have any near-death experiences, did you, tonight?
Not personally.
Okay, good. Worried about you,
Yeah.
not the spiders.
Yeah. Anyway. So I had a thing for you.
Uh-huh.
So I wanted to say thank you. I know I've told you this before, but thank you for doing what you do.
You're welcome.
And thank you for trying to bring healing to everyone that you meet and try to reconcile wrongs that you did not experience that are just everywhere. I really appreciate your commitment to the people that you meet because it is so genuine and so uncommon. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Yes, I'm embarrassed now, but that's awesome. Thanks. I appreciate that. It's important to me to be real and talk to people as though we were standing face to face, and I've known them for years. I'm glad that's being noticed. I appreciate that, and I really do.
I had written like literally an entire page here of like stuff I wanted to say, but I'm not gonna like bore you with the entire thing. Plus, my penmanship sucked, so I wrote it with Sharpie, so it bled really bad.
What happened now? What'd you say about blood really bad?
I wrote with a Sharpie, so the bled really bad.
Oh, okay.
I wrote something along the lines of you try to see the best in everybody, and I try to do the same. And I genuinely think that everybody is doing the best that they think that they can. And I think that you would share that belief with me. So, thank you for that. I feel like if a lot more people were willing to say, you know what, I think you think that you're doing the best that you can, and not just point out what people could be doing differently without living their lives, I think a lot more people would be a lot less disappointed.
Well stated. Yeah, I can't even comment on that. I'm beside myself. I really appreciate that. Those so kind words. And, it's something I didn't even think about. I've said this before. What you see is what you get with me. And, this is what I wanted to say, if you don't mind me interrupting just really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
I honestly believe that there are more good people than bad in this world. I think I've made that clear, at least with my closer. Mm-hmm. And I think that no matter what you do, you've got to look past the veneer, because everybody's got a veneer. Everyone's got a wall that they walk around with until, you're able to talk and break through that wall.
Yeah.
And it's a survival instinct. Totally get that. I'm glad that this show has been a vehicle for nearly 100 people in that respect. So.
Yeah.
I can't believe you wrote that down.
I really encourage people to love people anyway. The operative word being anyway. Even if it's hard, and even if you have to choose to do so, which a lot of us have to choose to do so, I really encourage people to love people anyway and find a reason to love them. And, I think that you're doing that on a platform where nobody else is. And I'm really grateful that you have chosen this way to spend your evenings. I'm so grateful for you.
Well, thank you. Believe me, it goes both ways. I'm grateful for you guys too, honestly.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, obviously, by looking at my earlier videos. By the way, don't look at my earlier videos. Uh,
I know you said you spent several months talking to yourself. So
yeah, it was at least 2 solid months. And if you can imagine how lonely that was and painful for a guy who doesn't normally, I'm just not that verbally gifted, I would say. It was tough.
or
Well, I don't see myself that way. You know how we are. We're all our worst critics, but I never saw myself as like the chatty guy, that. But imagine my pain having to talk for an hour to nothing, to no one.
I am so like thankful that you persevered. Like I know that I've watched you for many months now, and I love how delicately you handle certain situations and how honest you are with certain people. Like, I love how you craft the conversation to fit the show, and I love how you curve everything into a positive light, and like that takes like dedicated effort and actual thought in the conversation, and I'm telling you right now, it's not missed.
Well, there's nothing better than to hear that it's not being missed. Surely I'm blushing at this point. I know it's hotter than hell in here.
It might be the high blood pressure. We don't know.
It could be. I don't know, it could be a stroke. Who knows? Oh, Claire, we lost you. Oh, there you are. You're back.
Almost died. Hold on. I'm going to plug it in.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Wow, that is so cool. So, as I will do, divert, the attention away from me. This is about you. And I got to know thank you so much for that, by the way. Thank you so much. And like I said, I can't believe you wrote it down. That speaks volumes. But like I said, this show is about you. I got to know, what did Claire want to be when she was a little girl?
Okay, so I had my whole little preface there, and I have a secondary preface, a foreword, if you will, where I do not want anybody to feel sorry for me, and I do not want anybody to see missed opportunity. I don't want anybody to feel bad about the story that I'm about to share, but it is a sad one. So, here we go. So I really, like, from my earliest recollection, which, as we spoke about a few days ago, or a week ago or more, was my earliest memory is about 2.5 years old. But from my earliest recollection, I wanted to be an OBGYN. And I never knew why. It weirded the hell out of my mom, because I was homeschooled, and on TLC from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time, they would air a show called Birth Story or Birthday or something like that.
Okay, I thought you said her, but yeah, birth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it followed couples who were having babies at like Cedars-Sinai and like all these like very well-known hospitals, and it would follow their birth story way before people were, hiring videographers and putting them on YouTube. And I was completely enthralled. I wanted to be the baby doctor. I wanted to be the prenatal doctor. I wanted to do the postnatal care. I wanted to do that. I wanted that so bad. Now, looking back, knowing that my mom had cancer before I was born, ovarian cancer, and losing my brother, and then having me choosing to have a decreased life expectancy in order to have me and my sister, and then being diagnosed again after my sister was born, being in remission for 14 years, and then ultimately dying of the disease, in her 40s. I know now, especially being older and understanding how short of a time that really was for her,
Mm-hmm.
and understanding that, you know, a few years, like a year and a half before I was born, she lost her son and battled cancer, chose to have me and my sister, had my sister, and then had cancer again, all within the span of 5 years. I know now that I went several months without seeing my mom because she was in treatment. And I know that I went to doctor visits, not with her, but like on out of state visits, for that purpose. And, you know, in that 5-year period, I was alive for about 3 of it. And knowing that all of that was like subliminally, even though nobody told a 3-year-old what we were there for, like I knew at least at some point that that's what we were doing. And so I guess that's why I wanted that. And that's why it weirded my mom out so bad.
Really?
Because the worst people she ever knew were OBGYNs, I guess. They were associated with some of the worst memories of her life.
Yeah.
And then after my mom got sick again when I was 16, and after she passed very shortly thereafter, and after I didn't know that she was going to die until she was like literally had passed in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else knew, but they weren't allowed to tell me because she didn't want me to know. You know, I've cleaned up more throw up in my life than I ever should have had to. And I can still tell you to this day exactly what milligram dosage that she was on for all of her medicines. And I was truant from school that year because I would fake sick and stay home with her because nobody else could. And I don't want to be an OBGYN anymore. But I wanted that for a really long, it's the thing that I've wanted for the most part of my life. And I've toyed around with the idea of being a doula or a midwife or whatever, but I don't think that I could be there and deal with that again.
So it was the situation that kind of pulled you away from that as a possible occupation?
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, if she hadn't passed, if I had gotten to be the person that was like, you know, you're diagnosed with this and we're going to beat it, we caught it early, we're going to do this thing, my mom went through this, and I could like empathize with somebody on that level, that would have been fine.
Yeah.
But because I had lived the other side of it, I don't think I can anymore. And I don't want that anymore. And I still have a hard time, even when I pick up odd jobs waitressing, I still have a hard time being around anybody who coughs or gags or whatever they will do in a restaurant. I can't go to movie theaters because people choke on popcorn way too much. And like, I can't anymore. And it broke me a lot.
Yeah.
But that's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be an OBGYN, and I think that it is an incredible, noble profession, and they do not have enough resources and research under their belt. I think that there are some things that are commonplace in the U.S. now in that field that are not needed and that are money makers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I have done a just incredible amount of independent research because that's what I wanted to do, that I'm able to formulate that opinion now.
Mm-hmm.
And I challenge anybody in the field to come at me with their counterbalance. I'm so empowered now when I go to have kids about my own opinions. Like, I dare them to come at me. But, you know, that's why I wanted to come share, because you've heard wacky stories about my parents, but that one shaped me the most and for the longest period of time.
That's fascinating. And if I may say so, there is at least that as a silver lining. Not that it's the only one, but in preparation for you for
Yes.
later on in life, especially when it comes to one of the most important things ever, and that is having children. I would call that a silver lining, and I hope you look at it that way.
I do, and I'm really, I've been a big, because I'm 25 now. A lot of my friends have kids, and when they've gone to have kids or they've been pregnant, of course, a lot of my childhood friends I had moved away from. I've just moved back. I've done a lot of baby snuggling since I've been back, and that's a good position to be in.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of my friends, even though I wasn't able to be there physically for their pregnancies, if they have questions, if they're swelling a fair amount, or if they are hand numb, or if they are, having some lady bits concerns related to pregnancy, I've been able to say, hey, it might be this thing, but it might also be this thing. Please talk to your auntie about it, or don't worry, wait till your next checkup, then ask about it. And I've been able to help a lot of people feel more confident. Not that I am in any way, shape, or form a professional, not in the slightest, but normal first-time mom jitters, even though I've not, successfully had my own child, that is something that has come from it, is that, I've been able to kind of reaffirm the first-time moms in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would say that was a huge thing, because I always admire people who not only face adversity and overcome adversity, but also use that same knowledge or experience to help others. And that's exactly what you're doing. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. And not only that, but you recognize that you're not, a physician, right? So you're not going to go down that road.
Like if you come at me and you're crowning, I'm calling 911. I'm not helping you. I would help you. If you were at that point, I would help you to the best of my ability. But I'm calling 911 first, and we're boiling some stuff.
Yeah, well, if that ever happens, you're in charge of water. I'll grab the sheets.
Deal.
Oh, well, Claire, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Even I don't even know what to say after a story like that. I know you don't want it to be a sob fest in this, because there is that shining side to it, right?
Right. I'm not upset about it. I have found a brand new lease in life, and even though that is a thing that I wanted for a long time, I don't think that my passion for it is gone. Maybe I'll heal enough that I'll do something with it. Maybe that information will come to benefit me in real life. I don't know. But at the same time, I'm fulfilled in vastly different ways now, and that is totally okay with me.
Well, that's what's important too. That's awesome. Well, you took this show where I didn't expect it to go, and I thank you for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I always do it.
No. Don't apologize. You had some really wonderful things to say, and believe me, they are appreciated. A lot of times we don't get to get critiqued when we're a host like this, and it's nice to hear. It really is.
Oh, you did great, Jim. You've been doing fine.
Thanks, Claire. Anything else you want to share? I'm going to try to, normally I cut her off at about an hour, but I think I'm going to bring up my last guest, because I think I had to turn him away last time. But anything else you want to talk about, Claire, before we go?
Hey, man, the only thing I want to make sure that people understand is that the earth is not flat. So, if we've all got that in the chat, we're good.
Well, I think we're of like minds there, so we're
awesome.
We're on the road to redemption. Well, Claire, say hello to Matthew. It's Matthew, right? Remember, I'm horrible at names.
Said hey.
Yes, tell him we said hey, and have a good evening, will you?
I will, as long as you will.
Oh, I will.
Tell your wife I said hey.
Will do. Take care, hon.